Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here. And now it's been about 10 days since Jason David Frank, or Tommy from Power Rangers, as you might know him, has died. Yeah. And ever since his loss, so many people have really been mourning over his death. Like, there have been, posts from pretty much, all the actors from Power Rangers, especially the original Mighty Morphin series, paying respects to him. Yeah, and there's been just so many videos online of his death, and Watch Mojo has made some Tommy videos, and yeah, there's just been a lot of videos honoring him ever since his death uh 10 days ago now. And yeah, and even recently, his funeral was broadcasted. Like, it was streamed live when his funeral happened. I think that just happened yesterday. So people have really been mourning over his death over the last 10 days. Yeah, and even when I did the video ta- announcing his death, even I was just in total shock, and really was just so crushed by it, because yeah, I really just really did love Power Rangers growing up, and yeah, Tommy really is just the greatest Power Ranger of all time. So yeah, of course, I was really devastated when I heard about his death as well. Yeah, but yeah, now that some time has passed, it really has got me a thinking of some of like a some of his best moments in the history of Power Rangers, because yeah, he really sorry, he really has had just a ton of memorable moments in the entire show's history. And yeah, and I really do think that is something that a lot of people really should remember him by. They should really just think of all the great moments that he has had on Power Rangers. Yeah, and so that's really what I'm going to be talking about in this video. This video is really just going to be a tribute to Jason David Frank. And yeah, this video I'm really just gonna pay tribute to him. Yeah, in the other video when I announced his death, I was just really upset and just devastated about the loss. Yeah, but in this video, really gotta I really am just gonna really think of the good times of Tommy. Yeah, because yeah, just watching Power Rangers, some of the best moments in the history of the show really were with him. Yeah, so really, I just feel that's really something that will really help people. Well, that are really just mourning over his loss. They really just should think of really all the good moments that have happened with Tommy in the history of Power Rangers. Oh yeah, so that's really what I'm going to be talking about in this video. I'm just really just gonna. This is really just going to be a tribute to Jason David Frank, or Tommy from Power Rangers. Yeah, and I'm really just gonna look over some of his best moments in the entire show's history. Oh yeah, so for the last few days, I really have just really been looking over some of Tommy's best moments, and I have even made a playlist containing just some of his best moments or most memorable moments in the history of Power Rangers. So yeah, so in the description, I'll have a playlist of some of Tommy's most memorable moments in the history of Power Rangers, because yeah, there has been he's had a lot of memorable moments in the show's history. Yeah, yeah. So I just have a playlist down there, just a whole bunch of Tommy moments in the history of Power Rangers. So yeah, so really, and this is really what a lot of people really should just remember him by, and he really will have does have a ton of moments for us to remember him by, and his legacy will continue to live on, even though he's not with us anymore. Yeah. So I mean, of course, Tommy has just really had such so many great moments. It's when he was first introduced in the show in the first season of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, he was really introduced in a big way. It showed how like he was just such a beast of a martial artist, just like Jason was. Yeah, yeah. And what a way to introduce him, as Tommy fought Jason in a martial arts competition. And yeah, I mean, what a way to introduce him by, yeah, and even like that competition, it ended in a draw between the two of them. So, yeah, it really just did show like how great both Tommy and Jason really were as martial artists. Yeah, and starting with that, like it really just like did like build like an entire legacy. Yeah, just yeah, Tommy really just had like so many great moments on the show. Yeah. So yeah. So of course, like when like he was like first introduced in the show, it of course like started like the whole like Green Ranger arc. Yeah. Yeah. When he was like in the like he was of course introduced in the Green with Evil miniseries in the first season of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, and of course like when he was introduced, it also like showed like how Kimberly did, of course, like really like him, and yeah, and like when they did meet, of course, like it really did start like a huge like romance and connection between them, yeah, and still to this day, like so many people really still do, they still do really love the Tommy Kimberly relationship, yeah, and yeah, Tommy and Kimberly really are really like the best couple in the entire history of Power Rangers. Like, there's been like a lot of memorable couples in the show's history, but yeah, still yeah, people still do really consider Tommy and Kimberly to really be the best couple in the entire show's history. Yeah, yeah. Then of course, when Rita did like see like what Tommy was really capable of, she then selected him to be her evil Green Ranger. So then, yeah, she captured Tommy and then placed him under an evil spell and made him her Green Ranger to destroy the Power Rangers. Yeah, and yeah, and in that whole Green with Evil miniseries, like we had like the whole story arc of Tommy like as the evil Green Ranger, just doing all the things he did to take down the Ranger team. Like, of course, like he infiltrated the command center and just like caused Zordon to be lost. Like he damaged Zordon's connection, and it showed how just how like they like Zordon was lost, and like the Rangers and Alpha had to like work to get him back. Yeah, and how like the Green Ranger showed like how he infiltrated the Megazord and he just fought down all the Rangers and just easily overpowered them and took them down. Yeah, yeah, and all the encounters that they had with the Green Ranger, he just like continued to just take them down. Yeah. And then, of course, like he had that fight with Jason in the Dark Dimension, where Jason like lost his morpher. Yeah, yeah. Then there was just all this stuff that like the Rangers went through with the Green Ranger in the Green with Evil miniseries, and then when they did eventually discover that the Green Ranger was indeed Tommy, and they had to work to really free him from the spell. Then in the final part of the series, like it showed how like Rita gave Tommy like the Dragon Zord for his own Zord to take on the Rangers with. Yeah, and then in the final part, like it showed like how the Rangers really just were really trying to free Tommy, and it showed like how the Dragon Zord like went against the other Zords. There was that fight with the Tyrannosaurus and the Dragon Zord, which was really cool. Yeah, and then the Rangers easily took down the Dragon Zord, and then in the final fight with Jason and Tommy, Jason then like defeated Tommy and then freed Tommy from the spell by destroying Tommy's Sword of Darkness. Yeah, then with the spell broken, then Tommy then of course did join the team, which is like still considered like one of the greatest moments in the entire show when Tommy joined the team. Like Zornon put it best, like we were watching history in the making. Yeah, yeah, and then then like that miniseries then ended with Tommy officially joining the team. Yeah, which was just like such a great moment. Yeah, yeah. And then of course, like eventually, like they then like had that issue that I've talked about before, how they like ran out of stock footage for the Green Ranger from the Ranger Super Sentai series, and so they had to write him out of the show. And yeah, they had the whole Green Candle two-parter where like they had to retrieve it before it went out, or else like Tommy would lose his powers. Yeah, and they couldn't get to it in time, so in order to stop the Rita from regaining the Green Ranger powers, Tommy had to give up his power coin. So he did, yeah. Oh yeah, and I guess I should also say, like, another moment that I've got before, like, the Green Candle stuff. Like, one moment that I thought was really cool was like that Gung Ho episode where Tommy and Jason had to work together, because in that episode, how like Rita had created some super putties. So, yeah, and they needed some special weapons to defeat them, and then Zordon sent Tommy and Jason on a quest to retrieve the weapons, yeah. And of course, like, we had that first encounter with Titanus. I mean, that's where Tommy and Jason worked together to retrieve the weapons, and like Zordon just brought in Titanus as like a test, yeah, and it showed how Tommy and Jason worked together to like stop Titanus from stopping them from retrieving the coins and the weapons, I should say, yeah, and it was a really cool moment because Jason like ran up the hill to retrieve the weapons, while Tommy covered him with the use of the power sword, and Tommy even gave Jason his dragon shield as protection. Yeah, and I just thought like that was like a really cool moment when to see like Jason wearing the dragon shield and Tommy using the power sword. Like that was just like such a cool moment. I really loved seeing that. Like I always really liked when Tommy would give his dragon shield to other Rangers on the show. Like he didn't do it very often, but yeah, when he did, I thought it was really cool. Plus, it was just really cool to see like other Rangers wearing the shield, and plus, I did like to see like Tommy just like without the shield, like seeing like his like a Ranger costume being like the same as the other Rangers. Like I just really liked seeing him like that too. So yeah, so that was a really cool moment where like Jason was wearing the shield to race up the hill to retrieve those weapons, and Tommy was using the power sword to cover Jason and fight off Titanus. So that was a cool moment. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. Then yeah, like I said in the Green Candle episode, like Tommy was forced to give up his power coin. Yeah, and then yeah, so then it so then Tommy just like handed the coin over to Jason, and Jason was now in control of like the dragon shield and the dragon dagger and everything. Yeah, and like I said, that was really just to like write the Green Ranger out of the show because of they losing the stock footage. Yeah, yeah, and it seemed like that would be the end of Tommy, but of course that wasn't the case because later on in the season, then like Tommy of course did return in the Return of an Old Friend two-parter. Like and you know how like the parents of like all the Rangers ended up being captured by Rita, and as they were in the Dark Dimension, then like after like the Rangers were seemingly defeated by Goldar, Goldar like made the Rangers give up their power coins in exchange for their parents. Yeah, but then once the Rangers all handed their coins over, Goldar like revealed that it was all just a trick to get the Rangers out of the way. Yeah. But then, yeah, then when like Jason pointed out that they still had Tommy's power coin, they then brought Tommy back and had him like recover the power coins and get them back for them. Yeah, and then yeah, it showed how like they infused a Tommy with Zordon's energy to restore his powers. So then we got Tommy back in the show, which was really great. Like a lot of people really were like very happy about that. Yeah, but of course, like they like made it like how like despite the fact that Tommy did get his powers back, like it wasn't like a permanent thing. Like they could still fail at a point, which they then eventually did. Yeah. Yeah, and I talked about how I really liked when Tommy gave his shield to other Rangers to use. Yeah, and there was another moment in the show where he did that, where like Tommy and Zach, the Black Ranger, were fighting a monster, and after like Zach got sprayed with like acid gel from the monster, then Tommy then gave Zach his shield to heal him and give him energy. Yeah, and that was a moment that I really did like as well. Like the Black Ranger suit looked really good with the Dragon Shield. Like that actually did look pretty cool. Yeah, and yes, and Jason and Zach were really like the only other Rangers that Tommy did give his Dragon Shield to. He didn't give it to any of the other Rangers. Yeah, I would have liked to see like all the Rangers like wearing the shield at some point. It would have been cool to like see them all wearing the shield at some point. Yeah. But yeah, it showed how Jason and Zach were really the only ones to really wear it, besides Tommy. Yeah, yeah, and I'm sure like there's one moment that will probably like be like known by a lot of people now, with like both of them now dead. Like there was a moment like in the second season of the show where like Tommy and Trini were together when the other Rangers like ended up being captured or something. Yeah, and it's like there was like a scene with just Tommy and Trini in the command center together. Yeah, yeah, and there was like that moment where Tommy did hug Trini. Yeah, so yeah, I'm sure that's a moment that will really like be like thought about now with the both of them now gone. Like even people have said like that scene does hit differently now that the two of them are gone. Yeah, but even like when they weren't gone, when like before like the death of Jason David Frank, like I still really did like that scene because we really didn't get a whole lot between with Tommy and Trini together, like where it was just the two of them. So I honestly really did like that moment, and now with the two of them gone, it really does like seem to be like more of a popular scene now. Yeah, but even then, like even before his death, I still did really like that moment. Yeah, and then we then did eventually get like a Tommy completely losing the Green Ranger powers in the two-parter Green No More. Yeah, it showed how like his powers were finally totally drained. Yeah, yeah, but then Tommy like without his powers still did a lot in that episode. And then yeah, then after like he destroyed like Lord Zed's crystal, creating like the Phantom Rangers in that episode, like it showed how Tommy was able to handle one more fight. Yeah, then we had like that emotional ending where it seemed like Tommy would be gone for good, and Tommy was saying how he would hold them all close to his heart. Yeah, and yeah, and then with Tommy completely losing his Green Ranger powers, that once again seemed that that would be the end of Tommy. But once again, that would not be the case because just a few episodes after that, we then of course had Tommy becoming the White Ranger in the two-parter White Light. Yeah, and when Tommy returned as the White Ranger, like that was just like such a great moment as well. Like it made a lot of people very happy when it was revealed. Yeah, and even watching it now, I mean, despite the fact that you two know that Tommy is the White Ranger, just seeing that now, it still just is such a great moment. Like it can like really make you like really happy just to see it. And yeah, and it was just like such a great moment, and I really did love that. Like the White Light really is like one of my favorite. Well, I guess I should say two because it's a two-part episode. Really is like two of my favorite episodes of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Like I really just loved that. Had a two-parter, and yeah, and I just really loved to see Tommy becoming the White Ranger. Yeah. Yeah, and of course, like Tommy would also be given the White Tiger Zord as his new Zord, along with Saba, by his sword. Yeah, yeah, and just seeing like Tommy like has the White Ranger like in action for the first time, like that was just really cool to see as well. Yeah, and just like seeing Tommy back as the White Ranger and becoming the leader of the team, like that was really that was just like a great uh, moment as well. Yeah, so yeah, just like really loved the White Light when Tommy did become the White Ranger. Yeah, yeah, and another big moment on the show, like especially for Tommy, was of course the Return of the Green Ranger three-parter, where Lord Zed brought the like that wizard in, and the wizard ended up making a evil clone of Tommy who had the Green Ranger powers. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, then when the real Tommy came face to face with the Green Ranger clone, yeah, it was like really awesome. And just seeing the White Ranger face the Green Ranger, like yeah, it was just really cool to see the Green Ranger and the White Ranger fight each other. Like that just kind of like seemed like a really surreal moment to see like a Tommy's two powers fighting. I mean, it was just really cool to just see the two fighting. Yeah. And that whole Return of the Green Ranger three-parter, like yeah, it was just like really cool just to see the Green Ranger back and just to see the White Ranger fighting. Like we saw the what the Tiger Zord fight the Dragon Zord, and yeah, and just there's like a bunch of stuff with like the Green Ranger coming back and summoning the Dragon's Horn, all that stuff. Yeah. So yeah, that was a real great uh moment as well. Yeah. Yeah, and another awesome moment was, of course, like in the third season of the show when Tommy fought Lord Zed. Like that was just really cool. Like we didn't really see too much of like the Rangers actually fighting like the main villains of the show very much. But yeah, seeing Tommy fight Lord Zed was just like a really awesome a moment on the show as well. Yeah, and it was just like a pretty cool fight, seeing how like Lord Zed like zap Tommy with his staff. Yeah, and then of course when Tommy actually used Saba to snap Lord Zed's staff in half, like that was just really cool as well. Just seeing Tommy snap Lord Zed's staff and just turn into a snake, like yeah, and yeah, just like the Tommy Lord Zed fight was just like a really cool scene as well. And plus, it was just cool to see like a ranger fight a main villain, and because we didn't really get to see that much in the show. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And of course, like another big moment for Tommy, and well, it wasn't really just for Tommy; it was for all the Rangers. But yeah, Tommy was included. Was of course like when the Rangers were given the new Zeo powers. Yeah, yeah. That was when, of course, when they were given new powers along with new colors for Tommy, Rocky, and Adam. And Tommy, of course, did become the Red Zeo Ranger. Yeah. So yeah, just yeah, the changing of powers was, of course, like a big moment for the show as well. Yeah. It was also felt like kind of bittersweet because just like hearing Zordon say that the Power Rangers, as we've known them, are gone forever. Yeah. So it was kind of bittersweet, but at the same time, still. Well, a big moment to see like the powers changing, yeah. Yeah. And the Power Rangers Zeo, of course, like another one of the big moments for Tommy in that series was like when it was revealed that Tommy did have a brother. Yeah, there was a whole story arc made about that in the Zeo series, and yeah, it was revealed that Tommy did have a lost brother who was like actually played by like Jason David Frank's real brother Eric Frank, who is also no longer with us. So yeah, yeah, I'm sure like that's something that really hadn't come to people's minds. I'm sure like a lot of people just think of Tommy and Trini no longer being with us, but yeah, that's something else now too. Like Jason David Frank is now reunited with Twee Trang, who played Trini, but he's also reunited with his actual brother as well. So yeah, but I always like found it like really interesting that like Tommy's brother was actually played by Jason David Frank's real life brother. So that was like a kind of a clever thing for them to do. Yeah, and that was like one of the big moments of Zeo, and then one of the big moments for Tommy on the show as well. Well, yeah, so that was one of the things. Yeah, and of course, like in Power Rangers Zeo, there was also like the whole Gold Ranger story arc when Tommy like brought back Jason to take on the Gold Ranger powers after Triforia like had to pass them on after he was split into like three copies of himself. Yeah, yeah, and seeing Tommy and Jason reunite like that was like a really great moment as well. Like I know, like in real life, Jason David Frank and Austin St. John, who played Jason, did like have their differences is during the show. But yeah, that's like a totally different story. I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, it was great to see Tommy and Jason reunited in Power Rangers Zeo. Yeah, and they did give them that moment at the end of the episode where Jason returned. And yeah, it was great to see that. Yeah, yeah, and another like a big one of the memorable moments for Tommy on Zeo was of course like that I did guess it was technically a three-parter where like Prince Gasket ended up like brainwashing Tommy, thinking like he was the king of the Machine Empire. Yeah, I know like technically like that was like a two-parter, King for the Day, but even the episode before that, where in the world of Zero Ranger 5, was like a did like start off that story arc that like led into the King for a Day two-parter. Yeah, yeah, and it really was like deja vu because Tommy was like turned evil again. And Gasket really just like brainwashed Tommy, thinking like he was king of the Machine Empire and that the Power Rangers were evil and all that stuff. So Gasket tried to like turn Tommy against the other Rangers, but then at the end, the Rangers were able to like restore Tommy's memory and save him. Yeah. So yeah, that was like a big moment, and plus, yeah, just seeing Tommy like evil again, like yeah, I'm sure like if people really did like seeing that again. Yeah, and yeah, and another one who like Tommy's most memorable moments on the Zeo series was, of course, that episode, Another Song and Dance, where Tommy was like being taught by Tanya how to sing. But then, yeah, then after like a spell from Gasket or something, it caused both Tanya and Tommy to just like sing everything that they're saying. So yeah, so that's like an episode that I'm sure like everybody does remember from Zio. So yeah, just hearing Tommy and Tanya sing like that, like it's just like really hilarious. Like it always gets me laughing, like, hearing them constantly sing like that. Like even like when they're morphing, like Tommy just sing it's morphin' time, and during the morphing sequence, like both Tommy and Tanya still do sing like Zeo Ranger 2 Yellow and Zeo Ranger 5 Red, which is pretty funny. Yeah, and just like hearing them sing for like a majority of the episode was always pretty funny. So, yeah, that's like probably like one of the most memorable episodes of Zeo. Yeah, yeah, and then when we like headed to a Turbo with like when we got to the Turbo series, like of course like Turbo really like was like is of course like known as like not really like one of the best seasons of Power Rangers, yeah. And even then like when like Tommy and the others like were like started this series, but the first team like it didn't really last too long. Like Tommy and the others were like just around for like 19 episodes of that series, yeah. So there weren't like that very many memorable Tommy moments in Turbo. But yeah, there were a few moments from Tommy that I did like about, well, not really like, but were like kind of like memorable. There was that one episode of Turbo that like had the Shadow Rangers where the monster Diva Talks made, and they intercepted the Rangers' morphing energy. Yeah, so you had like they like stole the Rangers' powers and just like were like the Shadow Rangers, yeah, and they stole like all the Rangers' powers except Tommy's, yeah, and Tommy like fought off all the Shadow Rangers and then eventually recovered the like all the real Rangers, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I just always like found that like actually a pretty cool moment. It was kind of cool to like see the Rangers' powers like get intercepted and stolen like that. Yeah, so that was admittedly kind of like a cool moment. Yeah. Yeah, and then there was, of course, the passing of the torch two-parter, where it showed up like in that episode, like Diva Talks was attempting to destroy Tommy to crumble the Ranger team to get like the rest of them to fall apart. Yeah, then it showed like how as Diva Talks like was attempting to destroy Tommy. Yeah, Diva Talks tried to destroy Tommy by dropping him into the uh vortex realm or whatever it is. Yeah. Yeah, and like she had Tommy like dangling by his wrist that's from a rope, like over the vortex, and had like a rat gnaw at the rope to cause that would eventually like cause it to snap and drop Tommy into the vortex. Yeah, but then like Tommy of course like was rescued by TJ and Cassie, who of course would be two of the new Rangers at the end of the episode. Yeah, and of course like we had that moment. Yeah, which was like of course like a very bittersweet moment for Power Rangers. Yeah, where Tommy and the entire original team, Adam, Kat, and Tanya, would leave the team, and they selected the new Ranger team, which consisted of TJ, Ashley, Cassie, and Carlos, with only Justin remaining as an original Turbo Ranger. Yeah, and of course, like that's like a was a very bittersweet moment for Power Rangers. Like it may have brought the ratings up, but yeah, still a bittersweet moment to see Tommy and the others go like that. But yeah, still like a memorable moment. Yeah, and after that, it really did seem like that would be the end, and we would never see Tommy again on Power Rangers. But of course, that would not be the case. Yeah, of course, like in 2003, I believe it was, we of course like had the 10 the anniversary special Power Rangers, which was the Forever Red special during the Wild Force series, where of course like everybody knows that it's like 10 Red Rangers all join up to for a special mission to save the Earth from the remains of the Machine Empire, which was led by Tommy. Yeah, and we had all 10 of the Red Rangers from Mighty Morphin to Wild Force, which included Jason, Tommy, TJ, Andros, Leo, Carter, Wes, Eric, and Cole, along with Orko, the Red Alien Ranger. Yeah. Yeah, and that is really like one of the most memorable moments of Power Rangers. Well, one of the most memorable episodes of Power Rangers. Yeah, that's like an episode that everybody knows. Like, there are people such as myself that really didn't even watch Wild Force at all, or didn't even really watch Power Rangers anymore by that point. But yeah, they still do watch that episode a lot. Like, that's an episode that pretty much like every Power Rangers fan and would always be happy to watch. Like Linkara said in his the History of Power Rangers video on Wild Force. Like, that's an episode he'll gladly watch all the time. Yeah, and that of course was like just such a great nostalgic episode, like for old school fans, and yeah, it's just really great to like see like the Rangers from like all the Red Rangers from all the series like fight right along each other. So yeah, and it was really great to see like Tommy and Jason in particular come back, and it was cool to like see some of the others come back as well. Yeah. And then, of course, in 2004, Tommy would become a main character of Power Rangers once again in Dino Thunder. Yeah. And it was really great to see Tommy come back in Dino Thunder. Like, the very first scene of Dino Thunder did feature Tommy. Yeah, so that right there showed how he would actually like be a character in the series again. So yeah, so it was really cool to see Tommy come back. Yeah, oh, of course, like Dino Thunder really did like really gain like a lot of old school viewers back because of Tommy. Like, I remember I did watch Dino Thunder when I heard that Tommy was in it. Like, both me and my brother really actually did tune into Dino Thunder. Like, we actually did watch this series due to Tom with Tommy being in it. Yeah, though we didn't actually like find out about Tommy actually being in the series until like it got like towards like the middle of the series. So yeah, so we did kind of miss out on some stuff, but yeah, when we did find out that Tommy was in Dino Thunder, like we immediately tuned into it and we actually did like watch the series. Yeah, so it was just cool to see Tommy come back. Yeah, and of course, like Dino Thunder had like a lot of memorable moments from Tommy as well. Like of course, like in the Dino Thunder series, Tommy was, of course, like the mentor of the team. So really cool to see Tommy actually be the mentor of them. Yeah, yeah, and it showed how like he did like a create like the Dino Thunder morphers for the team, but for Connor, Kira, and Ethan. Yeah, and then of course like Tommy did end up also even joining the team as well as he became the Black Dino Thunder Ranger. Yeah, and just seeing Tommy become a Ranger again, it was just like such a great moment. Just seeing Tommy back as a Power Ranger, like that was just like so great. And he even just his line when he says, "I may be old, but I can still pull it off." Just such a great line right there. See, and yeah, just like seeing Tommy become a Power Ranger again was just such an awesome moment. Yeah. Then of course, like during Dino Thunder, like had that moment, had that period during Dino Thunder where like Tommy was stuck in his Ranger form for a time. Like I think it went for like about like 10 episodes where he was stuck in his Ranger form. Yeah, Linkara talked about like in his history of Dino Thunder video how like that was because like Jason David Frank like made a deal with the producers to like go visit his family during the filming of 10 episodes. Then he was just doing voiceovers for that time. Yeah, so he was stuck in his Ranger form for a period. Yeah, and I remember like during that period, like there was one moment where Tommy was looking through some old photos with Kira, and there was like that bit where like Kira actually saw the photo of Tommy like with the original Mighty Morphin team. So yeah, so that was like kind of a cool bit. Yeah, yeah, just to see like the picture of the original Mighty Morphin team right there. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah. Yeah. Then eventually they did help Tommy get back to his normal form. His just normal unmorphed state, because there was that period where they tried it where he did get out of his ranger form, but it he was invisible because of an overload of his dino gem. Yeah. Then of course we had the fighting spirit episode where they used like they got Tommy back to his normal state, his normal unmorphed visible state. Yeah, with some kind of a machine, but there was an overload within, and it knocked Tommy into a coma. Yeah, and of course probably the most memorable moment in the entire Dino Thunder series is as Tommy was in his coma, in his mind, it just showed he was fighting with the Red Zeo Ranger, the White Ranger, and the Green Ranger. Yeah, so yeah, it was just that was just so awesome to see the Tommy's powers coming back, and he's fighting against them, really cool. I remember when me and my brother first watched that episode, we just loved it. We just got so excited to see his old powers back again, just seeing their suits again. It was just so cool. Yeah, and it really is probably my favorite episode of Dino Thunder, because just seeing Tommy fight his old Ranger suits, and just to see the suits again was just such a cool moment. Yeah. Yeah, and then in the end, showed how Tommy really was worthy of living. So yeah, the yeah, that episode may be kind of a little bit a horrific to watch now, with him no longer with us. But yeah, it's still a really cool episode to watch. Yeah. So there were just and yeah, just Dino Thunder as a whole was just so great. And yeah, it was really a large chunk of that was really because of Tommy. Like I said, Tommy coming back, it really did bring back a lot of old school Power Ranger fans to watch that series. So yeah, and that is really one of the big reasons Dino Thunder really gets praised a lot, because of Tommy's return. Yeah. Yeah, and of course, they did bring Tommy back for anniversary shows, like Forever Red, during the Super Mega Force series for the 20th anniversary. They did bring a lot of Rangers, old Rangers back, and yeah, Tommy was one of them. There was that moment where the Super Mega Force team did see all the old Rangers, and Tommy was one of them, and they were excited to see him. Yeah. Yeah, and really the last big moment of Tommy in Power Rangers was of course when he returned for the 25th anniversary in Super Ninja Steel. Yeah, and it's one of the really cool moments was of course when Tommy did fight with an evil cyborg Tommy, and it just showed how Tommy had a master morpher to fight against a robot of him. And yeah, and it showed how Tommy was morphing into all of his different Ranger powers, except for Turbo. Yeah, to fight the robot, and eventually defeated him. Yeah, and that was just a really cool moment as well. I haven't really watched any Power Rangers for quite a long time. Pretty much since Dino Thunder, I haven't really watched any of the series. But yeah, I watched that moment of Tommy fighting the robot, morphing into all of his different Ranger forms. I've seen that a whole bunch of times. That really is just a really cool moment as well. Yeah. So yeah. So Tommy has really just had just so many great moments on Power Rangers. Yeah. And of course ever since his death, there's been a lot of tribute videos made to him with his highlights from the show. Yeah. And I even saw one that include some dialogue of that small period where Tommy did was after Tommy completely lost the Green Ranger powers, that there was that moment where he was writing a letter to Jason, and you just hear Tommy saying everything that he's writing to Jason. Yeah. And just we'll see each other again soon. Yeah. So yeah, so there really have been a lot of really touching tributes made to Jason David Frank as well ever since he died. So yeah. So, yeah, so Tommy really just has had like so many great moments in the history of Power Rangers. So, yeah, so despite the fact that he is no longer with us anymore, like there are like just so many moments from Power Rangers to really just like have his spirit live on, and yeah, his legacy will live on amongst the fans. Yeah, and I even like even after he died, I even like drew this I like drew this like just I drew all of his like Ranger helmets along with the 1973 to 2022. Yeah, this was kind of like my way of honoring him. Yeah, so he is really gonna be missed amongst like all the Power Ranger fans and even like all the actors from Power Rangers. Like I said, a lot of Power Rangers actors have posted on social media honoring him. Like Amy Jo Johnson, ma- made a live stream the day after his death, like singing a whole bunch of songs to honor him. Austin St. John, even paid respects to him. He even came forward saying how like they really were not best of friends, but he did pay his respects, and yeah, and just like a whole bunch of Power Rangers actors have paid respects to him. Yeah, so his legacy will continue to live on amongst Power Rangers fans. So yeah, he will be missed, but yeah, his legacy will live on. So yeah, so so check out all of his like a bunch of his memorable moments down in the description, and yeah, just Jason David Frank, like once a Ranger, always a Ranger. You'll be missed, but your legacy will live on. So yeah, so go Green Ranger, go White Ranger, Tiger Power, Dino Thunder power up, shift into turbo, just yeah, everything. So yeah, so really gonna be missed, but yeah, we'll never forget you. Yeah. So that does it for my tribute to Jason David Frank. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I know this went on kind of a while, but I mean there were just like so many moments to talk about. So yeah. So hopefully you guys did enjoy like just going through all of his a bunch of his moments with me. All right. So yeah, and like I said, you can check out like a bunch of his moments down in the description with the playlist I made. All right. But yeah, hope you guys did enjoy this tribute. So thanks for watching, and we'll miss you, Tommy. All right, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.